So women of a different nationality tend to be more submissive than black women. And because of that reason, our black men are going to those different nationalities to find a woman, find a wife, right? So in my personal opinion, I just feel like those women know where they come from, right? They know their culture. They're taught their culture. And within that culture, it's taught to them that you're supposed to be submissive to your man. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That shit is not up for negotiation nor debate. That's just what it is, right? And being a woman, being a black woman living in America, right? We know that we are African Americans, right? However, what is our culture? We're not taught African culture. So what is our culture? What are we being taught here, right? In America, what are we being taught?
Well, first and foremost, can I just say, Miss, you are beautiful, all right? Shout out to Miss Honey 365. So this is the first part of this video. I've been seeing this go around lately on TikTok, and I recorded it the first time. I felt like the first time that I analyzed this video, it was a bit negative, and I didn't really put in everything that I wanted to say in this video. So I'm going to deal with this from two different standpoints. So first and foremost, based upon my experience, and if we just look at this historically, black women are the most feminine women in the world. They are the most feminine beings on this planet. Now, a lot of men will say, "You're capping! Stop pandering! You goddamn beta simp, man!" Okay, Negro, listen. Black women are the direct and original representation of feminine energy. Just like the black man is the original dynamic, the original representation of masculine energy. So when you look at the black man and you look at the black woman, they were made for each other. Just like you can look at a lion and a lioness, and you can clearly see they were made for each other. But since we are the original people, we were the first people to create civilization, the first people to create science, to create math, to create literature, so on and so forth. So we are the literal image of masculinity. This is why they always try to effeminize and emasculate black men in the media, so on and so forth. And they also target straight black men whenever chance that they get. This is why they keep telling these black women that they can be strong and independent, they can do battle by themselves, because by nature, they are the most feminine. This is why white women were so jealous of the black family household, which is why they targeted back in the 1970s. The black woman, this might be a little hard for you to hear, is the most feminine being on this planet. When you look at religions and you see the grace and the mercy of the goddess, the grace and the mercy of God, wisdom, Sophia, all this is replicated in a black woman. Now, I'm not saying that every woman you're going to run across that's black is going to be feminine. But at the same time, that goes for every race. And if we're really going to look at it, when we're dealing with these masculine women, these rude, knobby, when you're dealing with these type of black women, who did they get it from? They got it from their mama. Okay, yeah, they got it from their mama. But who did she get it from? They got it from the white woman. That's where they got it from. We always like to point back to feminism, but we fail to forget who created feminism. The whole dynamic, the whole conception, the whole agenda behind women being strong and independent, doing all bad by themselves, comes from another set of people. So with that being said, we have to conclude that this whole perception, and I have run across a lot of white women who think in this particular manner, we cannot, exclude or disregard that there's a lot of non-black women out there that think with this mentality of being bad all by themselves. That's where they get it from, except they don't include race in it. We include race in it. And that's why you have this dynamic between the black man and the black woman. And they play on that. But aside from that, the only difference between when you're dealing with these white feminists and these non-black feminists and when you're dealing with black women or these black feminists is that they don't include race. They don't tear down they men. They just tear down men in general. for the most part. Then they go back to their man. With that being said, two, secondly, black women were taught in the household to submit to men. Generally, black women, I will argue, are taught to submit to men. We may not see that when you're dealing with statistics and the stats and what's seen on social media, but I'm willing to stretch. I'm willing to go out into the far beyond and give the benefit of a doubt. This may not be what we see in media and social media, but I'm willing to say that just because you don't run into them on an everyday basis in your particular area, or because you don't see it every day on social media, doesn't mean that it's not true. With that being said, we can also conclude, and this is the other aspect, right? We can also conclude that black people don't have a culture. I'm sorry. Y'all gonna just hear me out for a second before y'all attack me in the comment section. Black people do not have a culture in America. When you look at the dynamic in which we love one another, when you look at the dynamic in which the God that we praise, the names that we go by, the language that we speak, the food that we eat, what culture are we practicing? I really want you to hear me out for a second. Yeah, we have hip hop. Yeah, we got jazz. We created all this music. Yeah, we created, when they gave us these scraps and we created soul food, all this type of stuff, right? But as Dr. Amos Wilson says, culture is supposed to cultivate and rejuvenate a set of people. Does our so-called culture do that for us? No, it doesn't.
And if you're raised in a single parent household, most women see their mom as independent. They're taught to be independent. You're taught to be dominant. You're taught to take care of yourself and by any means necessary. You're not taught to be submissive. There's no one in the household that your mom is being submissive to. So you don't see that. So when she's raising you, she's teaching you what she knows. And being submissive is not one of them. So now it comes down to everybody's throwing up, and that's why the black men is going to different. Okay. I have no argument for that. It is what it is. However, I have no problem with being submissive, but that is something that we are not taught. So you have to teach yourself that. You have to educate yourself on that. And not every man is going to be worth you being submissive to. He just don't deserve it. The same way that y'all would say a woman gotta earn this and she gotta prove herself on this and that and that. That's the same thing with men. Not everybody's gonna be worth you being submissive to. And because you were submissive to one guy and he wasn't worth it, he didn't deserve it, he didn't appreciate it, he didn't even know what to do with it, doesn't mean that you should not be submissive to the next man who is doing everything he's supposed to do. I don't know. I could be wrong, but y'all let me know. But I said what I said. That's just what it is. But y'all let me know what y'all.
You did say what you said, and I strongly have to disagree. When you're dealing with black women that do not know how to decipher between a good man and a trashy dude, you're dealing with immature, toxic women. These are not black women. So to say that black women do not know how to be submissive and aren't submissive generally is a very stretchy, it's a reach, right? But it doesn't seem like a reach because we've been taught and we've been programmed to see black women a certain type of way. To where if a black woman even says that black women aren't submissive, black women aren't feminine, we're more likely to agree with that person while hearing them out rather than deciphering that statement and discerning that statement and really questioning like who, what, when, where, and why. For me, I've always seen black women as feminine. I grew up with feminine black women in my household. I have seen the epitome of what it means to be a feminine woman submitting to a man in a household. Now, everybody has had the privilege of seeing that, but I have. A lot of black women out here know what it takes to submit to a good man. I've seen a lot of black women out here that know what it takes to get a good man. Just because you see a lot of negativity on social media and just because you were raised up in a lot of traumatic and dysfunctional situations, does that mean that you are supposed to project that to the world and inferiorize yourself? Because there's no other set of women that will go on social media and tell the whole world that their own women, their own sisters, aren't feminine, aren't submissive, don't know how to get a good man, don't know how to treat a good man, don't know how to get a husband, don't know how to maintain a household. It makes you look bad. And while you're saying this about your own people, you'll turn back around and wonder why you get discriminated, why you're getting disrespected. Miss, you're giving them ammo. You're giving them ammo. You're giving them hype. You're giving them the juice. You're giving them the energy for them to disrespect you because you're saying it about your own self. I generally haven't came across disrespectful women dating, talking to, interacting family-wise, friend-wise. At the end of the day, it's all based upon what you entertain. You are going to run across some toxic women every now and then, but that should never be seen as the forefront of what black women are just because you've watched all the Tyler Perry collections.